Welcome, everyone. My name's Borgie. I'm the founder of Down Under Trading. A little bit about us. We are a server to educate would-be traders and experienced traders how to either learn how to trade safely, or if you're an experienced trader, how to enhance those skills. That's what we do at our core. We talk about all types of investments, from crypto to real estate to forex to traditional finance. And yeah, we've been running now for about 5 or so months, and just recently we've been branching out, doing AMAs with new projects to see what's out there, and get to know what are the up and coming projects coming into the bull run within the crypto space. We've got Taz. He has kindly joined us. He's the founder of New Throne, and I might hand it over to Taz just to give a little introduction about himself and what he represents.
Sure. And well, first thing is thank you for having me. Very appreciated. I'm always excited to talk about what we build and just meet new people in general. So a big thank you for hosting us today. In terms of what New Throne is, the short version is it's a PvP browser game that you can access on every devices, because it's all in the web, so you don't have to install any app. You don't have to have any specific software to run it. Everything goes through Web3. Absolutely everything is on chain, so there is no on-ramping process. Like, you don't have to install anything, or you don't have to pre-purchase anything. All you need to do is to access the app on newthrone.gg, connect your wallet, and you can start right away. So the basics of the game is this. As a player, you can purchase troops, upgrade buildings, and you attack other players. And the goal is to steal other players' rewards. You can also use consumables to customize your experience and have specific additional effects on what you do on your account. But that's the very short version. Now, the longer version is that you can have your own strategies based on if you are more of an active investor or passive investor. As a passive investor, most of the time what you would like to have is something where you just put in money in, you just wait, and you come back after a few weeks and you've seen your money grow. And as an active investor, you're more active every single day, so you can more play around with different strategies and be more active within the DApp. So we have those two types of investors covered with the game. So you don't have to be a pro player to play New Throne. It's very accessible, very easy to use. Every single player or just user can just go in the DApp today and start earning by just playing. So when we say playing, there's a few things happening. So like I said, you basically buy some stuff in the game, and then you have to attack other players. So you have the option of attacking more often by upgrading some buildings. And when you attack a player, there's a few things happening in the background, but for you as a player, what you see is basically a list of players that are within the same ranks as you. So we define ranks on shares. So that's basically putting in categories players of the same account size in terms of dollar investment. So that's just to be fair to all players. So as a player, you go in, you see other players within your rank, and you can basically target one player and attack it. What's happening is, based on your account, so you have different options to what troops you want to get, but you have attack troops and defense troops. So what happens is you basically have your attack power against your target defense power, and whoever has the biggest score wins. And when you win, you steal a percentage of the pending rewards of that target. So say, for example, this guy has $50 pending. I attack him, I win, and then I have everything maxed up. So I will be stealing $25 from that player. Now, because it would be too easy to just steal and repeat, you can only claim after every few hours. So again, by default, you can claim every 12 hours, and you can upgrade some buildings to claim more often, which means that you can, for example, attack more often and claim more often if you're more active, right? And if you upgrade some buildings. So that's the very short version of what the game is. And I'll stop there because you might have questions. So just making sure that I'm not losing people there.
No, that was a great overview, Taz. Appreciate that. I've actually got some questions that I've put together that I wanted to ask, but just listening to what you were explaining there, I had a question based on that. And so when you, I suppose, plunder someone else's rewards and you have them sitting there and you go to claim them, do you incur gas fees for claiming them, or how does that work? Like, who's the owner of the assets? Is it self custody, or are they sitting within New Throne?
Right. So everything is we use wrap ETH, right? So we are. I'm glad that you're saying that, because I forgot to mention that we are on the base chain. So we're not on mainnet Ethereum, meaning the gas fees are much less than what you see in Ethereum mainnet. So for example, if you claim, you do have a gas fee, but that's about like 10 cents when the network is very busy. So that's negligible. Now, you do also spend some gas when you attack other players. That's why we've implemented some sort of gas tracker to make sure that you play around when the gas is lower or when it really is worth attacking someone. So when you claim rewards, we do incur a just 1% fee that goes to the treasury, and we use that fee for expenses and marketing and team and everything, and basically the project expenses. But that's all that you have. So other than just stealing someone's rewards, claiming, you just get that 1% fee that goes to treasury, and the rest is just gas. And gas is, like I said, just a few cents on the base chain.
Yeah, so I guess when you claim, does that automatically put the wrapped ETH into your MetaMask wallet, or?
Yep, directly.
Yeah,
You don't have to do anything else. You just claim, and it goes right into your wallet, and you then have the option to swap it to something else or re-put it back into the game. It's up to you.
yeah, nice. What made you guys go with base, or build on base, as opposed to, I don't know, like maybe Solana or Avalanche or something like that?
Right. Actually, so this game has been in building. I started to build it in 2022. Like, I think it was at the very beginning of 2022, and I originally wanted to have it on AVAX. I wanted the game to use AVAX and on the Avalanche system, because I was very big on AVAX at that time, and it was relatively cheap too. So given how the game works, meaning every time you attack, you have to, it's a new transaction, so you have to spend some gas and you have to click on wallets and stuff. We really needed a chain that was cheap. So obviously that directly removes a few chains from the equation. So you can remove Arbitrum because it's getting very expensive when it's busy. Mainnet, obviously, and some of those chains. AVAX is also getting very expensive when it's crowded and when it's congested. And at that time, Base didn't exist yet. So a few months back, when I was really going into the idea of releasing the game, Base released, and I'm personally a big user of Coinbase. And I've seen the growth that they've had within the past few months. Like, if you look at crypto in general, Coinbase is one of the only centralized exchange that never had any issues. There's no FUD around Coinbase. They're US based, so they have to be they have to follow very specific laws, and they're clean. There's no issues at all. So when they released the chain, for me was a clear winner, just because you know that this chain is going to be around for a long time. They don't have a token. There's someone that giving me some echo. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I'm sorting it out.
Oh, all right. Oh,
Done.
cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.
No.
So yeah, I was saying about, so the base chain was for me the clear winner on the equation. I'm pretty sure base is going to be around for a very long time. They're cheap. They don't have a token, like for example Arbitrum or BSC. So that means the entire attention goes towards the chain itself as a chain, and not as maintaining a price token to keep people happy. And that's a very big decision for me. So with this and me believing in Coinbase and all of the tools that they build, for me was clear that the base chain will be the winner. And so the cool thing is that I've been in touch with the base team, and they've been very receptive and happy with the growth that we've had so far. And we're gonna work on some type of marketing plan together so they can push us a little bit more on their side. And you can see the effect. The last time Coinbase participated in the marketing of a project, it was with a friend pet, and they blew up just because of this. Like Coinbase just tweeted once, I think, on their Coinbase wallet account, and that gave hundreds of thousands of TVL to friend pet. So not saying that we want the same, because we have a lot of differences in terms of tokenomics and how we work. But definitely saying that we are willing, and Coinbase seems to be also willing to work with us on that side. So very excited about this.
Yeah. So my next question is around investors.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of sets New Throne apart from other play to earns, and yeah, well, why should investors pay particular attention to New Throne?
That's a good question, and that's the one that I receive a lot. And I have an answer for that one, and the answer is in two categories. Well, the number one is obviously that's something that you would hear everywhere, but we are a small team and we're extremely dedicated. As myself, as the founder, I spend, I don't know, maybe like 8 to 10 hours a day working on this thing, and it's been my second baby. I'm saying second because I have an actual baby, but it's been my baby. I've been extremely dedicated, and I'm building every single day, and we make releases every weeks. So being and starting to play now is being very early in a project that doesn't have a token yet. That's once again, that means we have our complete attention on building strong foundations on a game that is going to last and that is going to work despite the different market conditions. And that's very important, because if you look at most play to earn today, what happens is they make a game, they have a token, and they focus on making the token have a good price. Well, instead of focusing on having strong foundations for the games. So that's part one. Playing now and entering New Throne now makes you early and allows you to start, for example, farming your experience and your level, which is going to be the factor deciding how much of the token that you will earn later on. So we do plan on having a token, but the token has a very specific tokenomics that we want to implement only when the game reaches a specific thresholds in terms of players active every single day, TVL, and the features that the game has. So that's number one. Number two, we're still very young, and as an active player, you do have a voice. We are extremely community development oriented. We have a role within the Discord right now, which is called a hero. What happens is if you play the game, if you're active and participative, and you're positive within the Discord, if you change your name in game, you can get the hero role, which gives you access to a new channel, and we brainstorm new ideas and features every single day in this channel. So by starting to play now, you impact the game directly. And for example, just to give you what that means, we used to have 4 different buildings. One of them wasn't very used for the simple reason that it could be bypassed with other tools. So we brainstormed for a while, and someone in the community came up with the idea of having a research center instead, which for if you're trying to picture what the research center is going to be, is if you've played video games in the past and you've seen those talent trees, you know, where you can add points and it gives you new skills and stuff, that's basically what the research center is going to be. So thanks to the community, we're going to replace that building that wasn't very used a lot, and we're going to create something that is going to open up a brand new opportunities of strategies. And so that's why you want to be part of it as early as you can, because again, you have a voice, you get to participate, you get to have a lot of extra perks by being early, and that those perks are going to be massive when we get into another part of the market where we've got big TVL, a lot of players, and those players will not have access to the same tools and the same troops that you had when you started. So that's why you want to be early and start as soon as you can new throne.
Very nice. It's actually a good segue into my next lot of questions, which are around your token that you're maybe looking to launch soon. I've done quite a bit of research over the past couple of years into game finance, and that is something that really the tokenomics of most games is pretty ordinary. There's high inflation, or there's minting of like a token that is earned, and the minting levels of it is just crazy, and it's just a bleeds forever and a day.
Yeah.
I've had a bit of a look at what your plan is for Throw. Did you want to maybe touch on that? And because did you want to maybe go into some details about Throw and how that works, and when you are anticipating to launch a token?
Sure, yeah. And you know what, I want to emphasize on something you just said. Most games have an hyper inflating token that they just basically print until it gets to 0. And that's absolutely not what we want to do. Instead, we're going to have a fixed supply token that is going to be used within the game for you to purchase stuff. So it's going to have a usage within the game, but it is not going to be the main token of the game, because we do want the game to still use wrap ETH as main token. And the reason is simple. If you look at the TVL in crypto, obviously you have Bitcoin, but then you have Ethereum. So by just using Ethereum, we get a bigger reach. So you might say, yes, but if you don't use the token, might not you have like not enough buying pressure, or what's going to happen? Well, like I said, we are going to have a fixed token supply, and the farming of this token is going to be very specific. You, as a player, you will earn tokens by how active you are, and not depending on your account size. So say, for example, I'm a whale, I get into the game, I put 100K in the game, I'm going to earn less token than someone that started early. So that's a very big pro for players and active players, because again, that's why I mentioned you want to be as early as you can, because you can start earning rewards and experience that's going to define how much throw you get in game. Now, on the opposite side, you might say, yes, but that also kills the purpose of players willing to put more money in it. And we are aware, that's why you have some other consumables, for example, that allows you to get more experience. So for example, again, I'm reusing this example of I'm a whale and I do want to start playing. As a whale, you will earn a lot of wrap ETH because you have a lot of investment. So the throw that you'll earn is just extra. you don't need that throw to basically start earning every single day. As of today, we have an APR of almost 2% daily, and we can talk about what the tokenomics of the current game are a bit later. But for the throw token, it's just going to be extra. And that extra token that you get, depending on your level, you're going to be reusing those tokens within the game to buy consumables, to upgrade some research, to repair building in the future. You're going to need those tokens, not to take profit out, but you're going to need that token to continue playing. And that's very important because that means that you're not going to have a token that is going to be used for taking profits out of the game. You'll still have the RAB ETH. So that means all those tokens, you reinvest them, and every time you put them back into the game, we burn some of them. And again, remember, because it's fixed supply, that's going to increase scarcity. And obviously, on the long term, we hope that it's going to drive the price up. But that's only one side of the token. That's only how it's going to be emitted in game and how it's going to be earned by players. So now the question is, how can we have deep liquidity to make sure that this token is stable enough to be used within the game? Well, the kicker of this one is that it's going to have a farm, and the farm is not going to reward more throw token. It's only going to reward RAT ETH and a basket of tokens that we're going to be adding to the pool based on the partners that we have. So the RAP ETH from that farm is going to be taken out of a bit from the game investments. So every time you purchase something, basically what happens today is 90% stays in the game and 10% goes into treasury. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a bit out of the treasury portion and a bit out of the gaming portion, and that's going to be sent to the farm. So that means players or even other investors that don't even want to be players, they can put and farm liquidity, farm RAP ETH, which is basically blue chip farming, and we expect, based on volume, to have decent APRs, much more than what you can get by staking any other LPs with RAP ETH, right? So that's a very good TVL grabber. And in a bull market, we do expect this farm to be very successful. So this throw token has some sort of recycling components to it. Every time you self-throw, 5% is taken and reinvested back into the game. And every time you have spendings in the game, a percentage goes into the farm. So basically what happens is if farmers use the token for taking profit, that benefits players. And if players use the token, that benefits both players and farmers. So we're trying to create some sort of loop within the game that makes the throw token more of a tool for us to grab more TVL and more players, rather than a tool for people to take profit out and basically kill the game on the long run. And that's that's something we put a lot of efforts on, and our focus is and will always be players. Whatever we do, whatever we build, we always make sure that players and active players benefit from it, other than just trying to build something just to grab TVL and make money out of it.
Thanks for that. Have you got any exchanges that you're looking to list throw on, or are you looking to list on exchanges, or maybe just like PancakeSwap and Uniswap or something?
We're trying to find a good partner, definitely, because if we find a good partner, that extra APR that we can get into the farm, right? And the farm is going to be, like I said, a multi-token farm, so you can add and remove tokens as you go. So I've been in the research of a good partner, and I've been I've had a few people reaching out. We haven't found one yet. But the idea is, if we can, yes, we will get a farm on a partner. If we cannot, then like you said, we will just list on a big exchange and work with this.
Okay. You could probably do both, couldn't you? potentially?
Oh, we could. Yeah, we definitely could. We do want this to be a V2 pair though, so that removes a few partners. Some of the partners, some of the decks on base are V3s only, and since it's the main LP, we do want it to be V2, so that removes a few options on our list. But yeah, like you said, we can do both, and it will all depend on when we launch. So that drives me back to something you asked also, is like, when can we expect this token to launch? Originally, it was planned for last month. What we did though is we kind of postponed it because we do wanted to have two big features first out and rolling before we deploy that token. Those two features are, like I mentioned, the research center, which I'm working on, and lending and borrowing. And I'm definitely want to spend some time on the lending and borrowing aspect because that's huge in DeFi. But we do want those two features to be out before we release the token. Our goal was to have 100 active players daily, which we will have after we release lending and borrowing. As of today, we average between 80 and 90 active players. So by the time we get lending and borrowing out, we will have those 100 active players. So expectations right now, and I don't like to give very clear expectations because it's DeFi and things change every single day, but we're targeting for Q1 or Q2 of 2024. And like I said, because we're very flexible and we always focus on players, if we see that there is something that is not good at that time for us, we will reprioritize. So either in the more later on in 2024 or just earlier. It just all depends on how things goes.
So based on this is a question that I've been asked to put forward. Do you have partnerships in place to generate meaningful revenue and finance the gamer's earnings? It's in reference to the APRs that you're quoting of around 2% per day, and that's going to increase more when you have liquidity pools.
Right. So we've got three partners as of today. We've got Scalex, we've got Bullrun, and we've got Jade. So Jade is going to be an online casino, and I'm usually not into gambling, so I'm not the right person to tell you what they do. But they're very good, and they're building. They're going to be releasing on the base chain too. Bullrun is they are partners, and they also became friends. We're building now together. We're spending a lot of time brainstorming stuff together. So they're more than a partner. And from this partnership, I expect a lot of things to happen in the future. Like you said, tokens. They're about to release new tokens, so that's something we can use in our farm too. There's a lot of things that's going to happen, and we do plan on getting more and more partners. And obviously, that's something you can achieve easier when you have a token to deal with, because you can do bribes, and you can also do sync feature with partners and stuff like that. So right now we're definitely more focused on building than on the partnering side, but we do have plans on grabbing more partners, and I'm hoping and expecting to have more and more partners reaching out to us as soon as we have more features out as well.
Yeah. So I guess in your white paper, it talks about and this is a continuation on the question that got put to me to pass on. In the white paper, it talks about a game pool's boundless reservoir. Is that dependently mostly on users, particularly new ones, spending ETH to play?
Yeah, that's correct. So as of today, that's mostly new players investing and basically feeding the game pool. So like I said, so when you purchase something, 90% stays in the pool and 10% goes to treasury. So that creates a first 10% deficit. And we're very open about this. The game as of today offers you up to 200% ROI based on what you invested. So if you put in 1 ETH, you can claim up to 2 ETH. However, it doesn't stop there. as a player, what's gonna stop at 200% is only the rewards that you get every single second from the game pool. But you can still attack other players and steal their rewards. So what that means is basically it's reducing your APR on a daily basis. Now, like you said, that creates questions about how can we grab those 110% difference. Right now, like you mentioned, we're a game, we're getting good traction. So new players definitely can expect to see those 200% ROI, but it's not only you put in money and you wait. You have to be active. What happens is, as a player, you have to grab your 200% by attacking other players and having the right strategies. But that's only what's happening today. That's why we focus on big features like lending and borrowing. As a game, and you can see the result of implementing lending and borrowing on Axie, which probably is the biggest game in DeFi and the biggest play to earn. As soon as you implement those type of features, you have fresh TVL and fresh new type of players investing money into your game. And what's going to happen is those players will obviously earn based on their on the troop that they lend, and that's also going to feed the game pool. It's going to bridge that gap between what you invest and what you need to be paid. And the goal is not to stop there. Once we have the token, obviously the token is also going to bridge that gap because you will be earning both wrap ETH and throw. And the throw token opens up a brand new list of, again, opportunities that can help us to bridge the gap. So we've got other features that we have in our to-do in the future. We have in the idea, and I'm just going to say it's an idea because we have nothing official as of today, but we want to build a DEX that is going to have particular tokenomics that we haven't seen in DeFi yet. So that's a very big thing that if we are successful to build, we can almost pretty sure that that bridge is going to be closed. So that one DEX that most likely will be newthrone.exchange. And we've got other features like auto compounding pools that's going to be also paying wrap ETH into the game. And those features that you usually see in DeFi that we can easily fork and adapt to having the game being more sustainable. So that's a lot of what ifs. But again, we are still building and we are very early with a lot of ideas. And as of today, we are two devs. We've been both in DeFi for a few years now, and we've been in different types of projects. So, and we've been in both bull run and bear markets. So that gives us a lot of feedback and experience on what works and what doesn't, and what type of errors we should not reproduce when building something. So that's actually the reason why we're going with such specific tokenomics on the throw token. Is because we've been in games in the past that had, like you mentioned, like hyperinflating tokens, and we know it doesn't work. So we know that we cannot do that because even if it gets hyped for a while, it's going to generate volume, but as soon as that volume slows down, then it dies out. So we know that the GameFi is big. We know we can attract new players with having those type of tokenomics as of today, but we know it's not sustainable if we don't build anything else on the side. So that's why we're heavily focused on building those new features that are going to help us become more and more sustainable as we build.
And so I'm just having a look in the chat, and there is some questions asked around is there ways to defend yourself from attacks to protect your rewards? And also talking about like protecting yourself from attacks for, say, a 24-hour period of time if you have to go away or whatever it might be. Are you able to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. All right, let me check the questions real bit. So is there a way to defend yourself? Yes. So, like I mentioned, when you buy troops, you have three categories. You have attack troops, defense troops, and upgrades. Attack troops gives you attack power, defense troops give you defense power, and upgrades give you a bit of both, depending on which upgrades you get. So you do have the option of defending yourself by just purchasing more defense power, so more defense troops. That's number one. You also have consumables that you can purchase and that get used automatically when you get attacked. That also gives you an extra defense power. And as soon as we have the research center, we are going to introduce very, very interesting new researches that are going to, I don't want to say completely change the way things work, but that's going to make a lot of brain work because we have a lot of people talking about strategies all day long, and that's going to change a lot of strategies. And as of today, because people are trying to farm level, you have a lot of attack players, and there's a bit of lack of defense players. So the first researches that are going to go live are going to incentivize being more of the defense side. So as a defense player, meaning as a passive investor, you're going to have very cool research for you. So that's an answer to how to protect your rewards. Can hydras also be borrowed and lended? Yes, Pixels. You'll be able to lend all troops. Now, the question is obviously, as a player, you don't necessarily want to borrow defense troop, other than if you have a very cool defense build that makes you earn more than what you get stolen. So that's where defense troop gets into action when you want to borrow and lend them. Now, and I do want to get back on the lending and borrowing because that's going to be pretty interesting on how it's going to work. But so I'm just going to answer the few questions that I'm reading, and then I can go back to the lending and borrowing. But yes, you will be able to lend and borrow both, and all troops. But there won't be a way to protect yourself from attacks for, say, 24 hours. So you actually, there will be something. We don't know yet if it's going to be a research or a consumables, but what's going to happen is either one or the other, you'll be able to use something in game that basically makes you disappear from your target for X amount of hours. And that's how you can basically save yourself. So good point. Like say you're, for example, I don't know, you go on vacations for 2 weeks and you don't want to connect every 30 minutes to attack other players. So you just want to disappear. Today, what happens is, yes, your rewards get stolen, but the amount you can claim isn't deducted from what you lose, right? So again, say for example, you put in 1 ETH and you expect to get back 2 ETH. Those rewards that you lose to other players, they're not deducted from this. What we deduct is only what you claim out. So as long as you haven't claimed those 2 ETH, you can basically leave your game on pause, leave for a year, and when you come back, you'll still be able to claim those 2 ETH, right? So that's very important because that means you don't have to be around all day long. You can choose to have your hours, and basically what you steal and what you claim is what we use to define your ROI. We don't use what you've generated within a day. So that's actually a very. I'm glad that you asked this question. That it's extremely important. And that was the case with someone, a very active player. He reached out and was like, "I'm leaving for a week. What can I do?" And it was just this. It was just when you come back, nothing will have changed for you, except we will have more TVL. So that's exciting. That's exciting. But when you come back, you'll still be able to earn as much as you were supposed to be. You'll still earn as much every single day, and you'll still be able to continue stealing from other players, right? So yeah, that's very important. Yeah, like you said, Pixels. Yep.
Oh, my next couple of questions are more so based around security. given that you're looking to have like liquidity pools and in growing your TVL, what sort of security measures have been taken, and are you looking to get audited and things like that?
Yes, I actually got reached out yesterday night by two different firms that wants to do auditing. It's important to mention that an audit is extremely expensive in Web3. Like for example, for our game, it would cost at least between 20 and 30 grand, which is definitely not something we can invest in as of today with our treasury size. So what we've put in place is a few things. Well, first, we have those two developers, and we spend hours and a lot of time to test and retest everything. And because on how the game is designed and in terms of how the contracts are implemented, we have a lot of flexibility on how we test and how we can simulate specific scenarios. That other developer that we have in the team has a lot of experience, and he has a very good background of having bulletproof contracts. Obviously, that's not the answer to everything. So we've also implemented a bug bounty that has been very successful until today. We've been able to find a few bugs, and lucky for us, none of them were. We basically have three categories. One is just discrepancies. Number two is something that would be hacked, for example, by players and will remove some liquidity out of the game, but we will be able to get that liquidity back. And number three is basically everything is gone, right? We've never had anything of category 2 and 3, only minor things. And again, that's not the option. So we do plan on getting audited as soon as this makes sense for us. So that means as soon as we have enough treasury to pay for it, as soon as we find a company that is worth that investment, because if you look at a lot of auditing companies today, what they do is they just basically put your code in ChatGPT and they give you an audit, which obviously isn't worth a lot. So we do want to have and to find the right partner for us to audit our code. And to take into consideration that given how often we make updates, we also need to find a partner that allows us to have those updates to be also audited without us paying extra 10K every time we need to make a new audit. So that's a lot of things to take into consideration, but we do spend a lot of time on security on our side. I've also given the code to a few actors in Web3 in the past to basically try it and try to break it. None of them has successfully done this until now, and we do plan on keeping it that way.
That's good. I mean, like, you know, your TVL's at, what is it at the moment, around 30K, I think. So it's
we're about 55K now.
5K. Okay, it's been growing then. It's still a relatively small amount, but yeah, I think it's good that you guys are looking at it for the future as you guys grow and it becomes a better business decision or an affordable business decision. Well,
Yeah.
how about KYC? Like, is the team KYC'd, or are they looking to get KYC'd through like a Shore DeFi or something like that?
Yeah, so part of the team are 5 people right now. So you've got LHB, Lemmy Hill Billy. He's KYC'd and his name is all over DeFi. He has a project himself called Glacier Finance on Avax. And he's completely KYC'd and doxed. We've got 2 other team members that started to work with us after the game launched. So Stunner and Vider. So Stunner is on the marketing and community side, and Vider is on the graphic side. They're not doxed. I've never asked them to dox because I don't need them to be. And there is Bunny and myself. So I've been working with Bunny for at least I think almost 2 years now on different projects. He's not doxed either. So on my side, I'm not doxed publicly, but I am doxed to the Coinbase team because I've been working with them on the marketing side, and obviously more being more professional to show your face, and based on the content that we've worked on, I had to give them my name, and they know my Coinbase accounts and everything, so they know who I am and they know who I represent. So officially, I'm not doxed to the community, but I
Yeah.
am doxed to the people that I work with.
Okay. Oh, that's fine. I think for me, KYC, some people do put a bit of weight on it. For me, not so much. I've still seen rug pulls happen with teams that are fully KYC'd,
Yeah.
with like a short buy and things like that. But as investors, some people have their own boxes that they need to tick. So that's why I just thought I'd ask that question.
Yeah, no, for sure, and it's a fair one. Like you've seen it in DeFi, it's wild, man. Like you never know when you put money in something in DeFi. You never know what's gonna happen within the next hours. So it's always a bet. So some people are more risk adverse, like myself, and some people are very, very extremely cautious with where they put their money in, and that's often one of the questions we get. Like the other day, we had someone that came in, and the first question that guy asked is like, "Where can I find information about the gym?" It's fair.
Mm.
Like it's a fair question because some people they need to work with trust when they put their money into something. But also, like you said, we've seen millions of TVL being rugged by fully doxed team. So again, it doesn't mean anything. For some people it does. For some people it doesn't. I do believe in uh, working with people and investing in projects that I've known the team to be around for a while without any rugs history. That's what I do with my personal investments. I don't really care if the team isn't doxed, but what I do care though is that they have an history of building projects without rugging. That's basically what I look at.
Yeah. So I just wanted to. You had mentioned that you've worked on quite a number of projects previously. Were you the founder of those projects, and is there any projects that you're currently working on besides New Throne?
Yeah, so I've been in DeFi for 2 years and a half, I think, something like that. And New Throne is my first project as a founder. So that's extremely exciting for me because I'm definitely stepping into a world that I always wanted to be in and never had the balls to do so. So like few months ago when we really decided to go through with New Throne and starting everything, I was like, man, you know what it means. You know the time investment it means, you know the dedication it requires and the all that stuff. Like it's not just having founder by my name. It's more than that. So that's my first project as a founder, but I've been part of the core team of a few other projects, and my journey started with Great Finance, which is still around, which has been around for a long time, still since its creation, and that's actually how I started to be in DeFi. Like I've been in Wonderland. Some of you might know or might not, but I've been in Wonderland, pretty bad experience, and I was like, how can I make my experience better? So in my real life, I'm just a developer with a lot of experience in different worlds, and I love to develop stuff. That's what I do. Like every time I have some free time, I just build stuff. So I was like, how can I mix my passion for crypto and my passion for development? All right, I'm just going to start building stuff. So I started with Grape Finance. Uh, I was not part of the team. I didn't know any member of the team, but I was like very interested into learning. So I started to create pull requests and to participate to the project and add more stuff on their front end. At some point, LB, the dev, started to see that I was dedicated and building good stuff. So he proposed me to start paying for my services, but that was it. And then I started to be more and more active, and I basically ended up recreating the entire DApp with them. So that's where I became core team member. And from there, I met LHB, who was the founder of Walrus Finance on Avax. And that's the same. He liked what I did for Grape, so he gave me a role of front-end developer. And I started to move from project to project like this and participating here and there and like adding my touch everywhere. And a few months ago, I was like, I've been able to be part of core team member and do all these things together, but I just wanted to have my own things and live this. I'm I love to, like I said, create and be an entrepreneur, and I just don't see why I should not do the same in DeFi, and I love it. Like it's obviously, like I said, it's a lot of time and a lot of energy, but it's worth it because I'm learning a lot, meeting a lot of new people, making good connections, and that's, in my opinion, that's how you make it. Like you create your network of people you can trust and that you like to work with, and from market to market, you grow, you build, you evolve, and yeah, that's how you propose good products and product that stays in the market.
Yeah, I 100% agree, mate. I agree with you there, and everything that you said. I don't have any more questions for you. So, was there anything else that you wanted to sort of talk about with New Throne, or did you have any questions for myself?
I just one last point that I wanted to talk about is the lending and borrowing. That comes back to something you asked about. Why should you come early? So as of today, when you buy troops, they have a limited supply. So for example, we already sold out the best troop. And so those troops are going to be able to, like, you'll be able to lend and borrow those troops. So the more you have, basically, the more you'll earn. And the lending and borrowing is going to work as kind of the same functionality as in AV, for example, where the more it's borrowed, the higher you get, like the higher the APR for the lenders. And that's going to be working the same way. So meaning is those, for example, demigods that are sold out, for those people today that have some and that are going to be able to lend them, that means jackpot for them. So that's a reason also why you want to be early is we have some more troops that you can acquire today and that you'll not be able to acquire anymore in the future. And lending and borrowing is going to be a big factor into this. So yeah, that was the last thing I wanted to talk about because we truly believe that lending and borrowing is going to make us grow big. And we're super excited about that thing. But yeah, I did have a few questions for you though. So you mentioned at the very beginning what you do is you educate and you basically also work with people that have or have doesn't have any experience. How did you come up with this? How did you guys decide it? And I don't know how many people are part of the team, but how did you guys decide to actually make something out of this?
Yeah, so I actually, well, there's three of us in the team. There's myself, there's Nomad, and there's also Defected Psy. It wasn't my initial idea to begin with. I got pushed to sort of do it. I was in another server, and they have like a bit of a trading chat where people exchange ideas about what's happening in the markets and exchanging technical analysis and things like that. And I got approached in there and got asked, or got told rather that I should consider opening up my own server to educate other people. And that's pretty much how it started. And we haven't really looked back since. So yeah, it's been going well so far. Definitely a learning curve, and the start is always hard, but we're constantly growing. I think we've about tripled our server size in the last sort of 2 months, which is good.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, and we've got I've got a heap of we have a premium section as well, which is the normal price is like $50 a month, and within that we do I've got a heap of education channels with information around technical analysis, risk management, I've got my personal investment strategies are fully transparent and written down. What I've invested in, how I've done it, when I'm doing it. We hold weekly, sometimes multiple times a week, video calls as well, going over charts, or we've done some live trading sessions, and I'll even ask the guys, what do you guys want to focus on and talk about in the upcoming session, and that's what we'll do. And we record it all as well, so other premium members can access it at a later date. So yeah, it's a work in progress. We are adding more utility, I suppose, to being a premium member as we go. Yeah, it's exciting.
Okay, that's nice, and I'm glad that you mentioned the premium feature, because I was about to ask that. But so you said as a premium you have access to more tools. If you were to sell that premium to someone, what that someone could expect to see by having those premium access? Like you mentioned, obviously, the video recordings and everything, but what type
So
of... Go ahead.
it depends on what the individual wants to get out of it. I cover off day trading. I cover off long-term investing. I cover off investing in real estate, in stocks, in crypto, a little bit in forex as well. So if you're wanting to day trade and you're constantly getting hit on your stop losses, or you start trading and getting frustrated with your trades, which suggests that you're trading with emotion, that's where I sort of come in, and I try to break down what it is that you're doing and how you can do it better. A lot of people, when they join these crypto trading groups, like what we're running here, they're looking for a signals group. They want to be told when to enter a market, when to exit the market. That's not what we're about here. I do share my trades transparently, but that's for the purpose of education. What my aim is to teach the individuals how to find their own trades, how to understand their own trades in advance, and take them. I don't want to be a signals group where people are sort of sitting on the edge of their seat waiting for me to say buy, buy, buy. I want them to be able to go away and do it themselves. And that may mean that I've got a premium member that's only there for 2 months, because at the end of that, they feel like they know what they're doing. But that's what my aim is to make people able to do it for themselves.
Nice. And so, how many years of experience do you have doing this, and how can people trust the team to be good enough to for them to invest and buy that membership?
Yeah, so I've been investing for approximately around 15 years. I've been in crypto for around the last 4 years, and actively trading it the last sort of two to 3 years. So I do have a fair amount of experience. Initially, when I got into crypto, I actually did have the wool pulled over my head a little bit by influencers and things like that, and that was a bit of a driving force in me partaking in these trading chats in some of these servers and sharing my ideas and learning for myself about technical analysis. But yeah, regarding my exposure to investing, it's probably around 15 years, and that you can, if you were to ever become a premium member and you can see where my investments lie, you can sort of see that I'm more exposed to traditional finance and real estate, and crypto is something that is it's building up, and there's reasons behind that. Risk metrics as well. Real estate's typically your least risky asset, and then you've got traditional finance, and then crypto's the most volatile of the three. But yeah, if anybody does want any more information, they can feel free to reach out to myself, Nomad, or Simon, either DMs or in the public chats, whatever. We're an open book, and we're happy to answer anything.
Okay, nice. And I guess the last question, and we can probably wrap up with this, is do you guys have any plan on growing, and what's next if you guys are able to grow as big as you would like to be?
Yeah, so I think at the moment I'm putting a lot of focus into at the moment with our education channels. It's a lot of it is sort of scripture, and we're slowly adding videos to them. But I'm not just going away and doing videos sort of offline and then uploading it to it. I'm doing a live video with an audience, running them through each channel, and then we're recording it and uploading it to those channels. So that's something that we're looking to improve on. And then in regards to growing the server, I think holding these AMAs help quite a bit to grow the server. Just trying to be as active as we can, and yeah, we're just sort of seeing how it happens, and hopefully word of mouth gets out there, and that's how we can get some people in.
Yeah, definitely, and I'll make sure to share and reshare your Discord invite and remind people of your services in our server as well.
Thanks very much. Appreciate that.
For sure. For sure.
So, did anyone have any questions for myself or Taz? Doesn't look like it. I reckon we can draw a close on it there. Unless you had anything that you wanted to add, Taz.
No, I'm good, man. Once again, thank you so much for doing this. It's not easy to grow, especially today. Like if you have something in mind and you want it to grow, it's not like you just don't clap your fingers and you get 12 millions in your bank account and you've got hundreds of thousands of players to play your game. Not like that. Like you have to spend hundreds of tons of hours and efforts to make it grow and to make it worth. So really appreciate you for hosting us because that's part of the growing process. Really appreciate every single one of you that joined today and took the time of your day to listen to us and listen just random people in DeFi that you've never met, just building project and trying to do something in that world. So really appreciate you guys for joining. You would be more than welcome. Also, if you have other questions for me, to join the Discord and ask in there. We welcome you. Big arms open. And yeah, and thanks again for everything.
And thanks to you, Taz, for taking time out of your day to join us in here. Appreciate it very much. You've been one of the better participants that we've had. Kudos to you. Yeah, I look forward to keeping an eye on New Throne and seeing how it does grow. Like you said, starting something out is difficult. It takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and swearing at times to get it to where you want to take it. But we keep pushing, and that's how we get through it. So yeah. Thank you very much.
Sure.
And we've got this session recorded as well. So when we upload it to YouTube, we'll flick you over the link so you can post it within your server as well.
Yeah, appreciate that. That's cool. All right, thank you so much. Have a good one. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you again. Hope you have a good rest of your day, night, or whatever it is for you. I appreciate you a lot.
That's right. Thanks, guys. See ya.
All right. Bye-bye.